We know that not everyone wants to spend thousands of dollars on multiple pair of boots. So we're going to talk about today is basically one boot to rule them all, our favorite boots to be able to use the entire hunting season based on our individual boot profile and our body type. So I got Lorenzo here, Nate, and myself, and we're going to run through, like I said, our favorite boots, our foot profile, and body types, and why we like each boot. All right, I got Lorenzo here. He's going to walk through his basically do-it-all boot for an entire hunting season.
This is truly my one and done. The Salewa Mountain Trainer 2 Mid GTX. Everything about this boot I love. It fits my foot perfectly. I have a 28.5 centimeter long foot and 11.5 centimeter wide. That's on our foot profile, but what we don't take into account on our foot profile, I have a lot of volume in my foot. Like the bridge of my foot is very tall. So I always have an issue finding boots that fit over the bridge of my foot without creating like weird pressure, especially in heavy packs and pack out situations. Salewa has been amazing with that for me. The boot all the way through, like it's taken me from high country mule deer hunting in Colorado to Sonora mule deer hunting in Mexico to antelope hunting in Eastern Plains, Colorado to everything else. Literally, it's literally been a true do-it-all boot for me, and I run it the entire season. Like I'm not a guy like Trail who runs 4, 5, 6 different pairs of boots. This is my one and done, and it takes me everywhere. As it gets colder, I just kind of go heavier on the sock, and in the warmer season, it's perfect. So truly my one and done.
Do you prefer stiff or flexible boots?
I prefer like a mid flex, so this is a flex 3. I'm just over 6 foot, 240 pounds, so I do put a lot of pressure and torque on my boots when I hunt, especially with pack and pack outs. But I don't like that chunky feel of a flexible boot. I like to feel more athletic. I like to feel things under my feet. I like to feel things moving. And it honestly feels like I'm wearing a cleat. Kind of takes me back to the old glory days, you know what I mean? Feel good in the backcountry, feel like an athlete. Feel things under my feet and all that stuff, especially when I'm bow hunting. So I'm like a mid guy, so the Flex 3 for me is typically where I stay, and then everything about this boot just fits my foot perfect. Works with me really well.
And then height of the boot, kind of looks like you're preferring a shorter.
Yeah, I don't have hobbit feet, but I definitely have like hobbit lower legs. The calf ankle region don't have cankles. Just have very big calves and very big lower leg, wherever that measurement is called. So I don't like those real tall boots because they never fit me quite right. They always pinch on my shin bone. Like I always feel them rub and pinch on my shin bone. So I'm always like a very minimalist kind of on the tall side. And that's what's always worked for me. And Salewa has been, that's my go-to.
I got Nate here. He's going to walk me through his do-it-all boot for an entire hunting season. What you got?
So my choice is the Kenetrek Mountain Extremes. I run these things all year long. I run the 400 gram insulated ones, and that takes me all the way from scouting season in July all the way into your late season November hunts.
I have a question there.
Yes.
So it's not too hot?
No. So what I do in the summertime is I run a super light sock. I have hot feet as it is, but I run a super light sock. I've never gotten to the point where it was too much in July and August, but that's typically up at higher elevations. So which then fits perfectly when it comes time for your September hunts, first part of October, maybe run a medium sock, and the 400 works great even with a medium sock, even in the late hunts. So the 400 doesn't personally bother me. It allows me to use it from start to finish.
Yeah, I like that.
The other thing I like about these boots is they do ride higher up on the ankle. These are a Flex 4, I think they are. And it keeps my stability when I'm on the mountain. I know Lorenzo likes to kind of feel everything. I haven't found that much for me. To me, it's just more of I have rolly ankles, and I don't typically like to roll.
So walk me through tread in the bottom of this boot, because I know Kenetrek has a pretty unique tread system.
They do. I've never had an issue with these slipping before, whether that's ice, sand, rocks. I'm a rock guy. I like to rock hop. So there are some certain soles that don't quite get the grip. With these, I stick to everything. This midsole portion too is a softer foam. It's not a hard rubber, to where over time this does adjust to how my foot typically walks. Where with some of the Vibram hard soles, you won't get that form. So these form really well to the foot. Overall, out of the box for me personally, they've just been comfortable, and that's my biggest thing when it comes to hunting. Is if my foot's comfortable, let's wear it.
So like minimum break-in?
Extreme minimum break-in, and I know everybody won't get that, but for me, I pulled these out of the box, I put them on, and I wore them straight from there. So
win-win.
Yeah, so for me, doesn't really matter what season it is. The Kenetrek Mountain Extremes, the 400s is what I run. That's my go-to boot from first part of the year to the end. All right, so we've gone through my boot of choice. We've gone through Lorenzo's. What are you pulling out for this? All
right, so as you can see here, I'm a guy who loves a leather boot. This is the Hanwag Trapper Top GTX boot. For just reference right now, I'm a 28.8 centimeter length, 10.8 centimeter width. I wear a size 12 Nike, and in the Hanwag Trapper Top GTX, I size up a half a size, so I wear a 12 and a half. Why I love a leather boot. I just absolutely love how leather wears over time. Like I can actually use this boot for multiple years. I love being able to recondition my boot. It's something I actually really enjoy is just like sitting at home or sitting at camp, like a wall tent setup, reconditioning leather. I enjoy that process of being able to bring my life back to my boot by just reconditioning everything and make it last a lot longer.
All right, so are those insulated?
They are insulated, so they do have an insulation thing underneath the footbed. They add some insulation to the side. I would probably rank it right around that 200. It's definitely a sub 400.
Okay.
Hanwag doesn't actually list an exact, rating on its side, but like
Gotcha.
Between 200 and 400.
But you're good in like early seasons.
Yeah.
Like you can run that from hot to cold.
Yep. So my seasons, I can use this boot bear hunting, spring bear hunting. This is my go-to boot.
Nice.
Jumping into summer scouting, easily can get by with this as well. Just similar to you, I'll just run like a little thinner sock in the boot, and then going into big mountain mule deer hunts, like October, even September, late November type things. Like late November I'm going to start to get a little bit cold, but I'll put a liner sock in and I'll throw a thicker sock on top, and obviously taking out everything at night to dry everything out. But like it's a boot that I literally could hunt all year round with it. And I just love to rubber band on the front. It's going to protect everything. Good Vibram sole. It's going to be able to dig in the terrain and dig in when I'm going downhill. And it's a Flex 4 boot, which is a lot normally for me.
Right.
But once I break this boot in, these guys won't let me show my broken in boots. But my broken in boots, I actually can flex them a little bit more because I've been using them for so long. And I really love too the lacing system on Kenetrek. I love the little ball bearing they have in the middle, so it's really easy to pull it tight
nice.
And kind of lock it in there. And overall, great waterproof boot. Like I said, I can cross streams. I can, scale shale, big stiff mountains, hunt sagebrush, do all sorts of terrain.
You saw mine were the Mountain Extremes, and side by side they look awfully comparable, right? So what do you see as maybe a one-up for these versus the ones that I have? What's the difference that you like about both?
Yeah, it's a great question. I actually love both those boots. So I have those boots, but I have those in 1,000 gram. So the reason I didn't bring those on here because 1,000 compared to this is more, 1,000 I can't really do all year.
Right.
And so I don't own the 400,
Gotcha.
but I think they're very comparable, quality materials in both of them. And, I think you can't go wrong.
But with
either
these
way.
not being so hot, you can run them.
I can run them longer, yeah. And I'm like you too, I do like a taller boot. I don't like a taller boot for, I'm doing this in quotes, ankle stability. I don't really fully believe in that taller boots are going to add ankle stability. I just like to get my ankle stronger. I just like how it fits around my calf or my lower part of my leg, and just feels more comfortable to me having a little taller boot sometimes, especially on steep, nasty hunts like bear hunts or mule deer hunts. So for me, literally this boot I can hunt the entire year with and get by, and I'll get multiple years of use out of it. So Hanwag Trapper Top GTX, my boot of choice.
So that's our choices for the one and done boot from start to finish all the way through the season. We've all been running these boots for a long time. Hopefully you guys learned the reasons why we like them. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comments, let us know. And like we said, not everybody wants to waste all kinds of money on multiple pairs of boots. The people that are looking for the one and done, these are our choices.